Talk Health Podcast, the official podcast of West Tennessee Healthcare. I'm your host, Kara Mobley, and on today's episode, I have with me Natalie Idzik. She is the HMR Program Admin and Coach. She's working with us through our Lift Wellness Center. Welcome to the show, Natalie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I know you just recently started working with us with West Tennessee Healthcare back in September of this year. So
right.
Pretty new. However, I do know that you're not new to this program. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've worked with HMR.
I would be happy to. Thanks for asking. So it's so nice to be here. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. So again, I'm Natalie Idzik. I started with HMR around 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Quick story about me. I, in my late 20s, was about 45 pounds overweight. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. I was sedentary. I was not really living a very healthy lifestyle. And so I decided I had to do something. I found HMR, lost the weight, and I love to tell people I'm healthier in my 50s than I was in my 20s.
That's what I'm going for too, because I'm also kind of right in the middle of struggling with my metabolism slowed down a bit, and it's like now it's becoming an issue. Whereas before, when you're young, you can just eat whatever, and then that's what sneaks up on people. I think it's a lifestyle shift and eating habits that you never really thought about. So what does HMR actually stand for?
It's a great question. HMR stands for Health Management Resources. Okay. HMR is a national healthcare company. They've been in business for over 40 years. And they're found primarily in hospitals, universities, physician groups, and wellness facilities like the Lift.
Okay, great.
Yes. And so they've helped people lose weight successfully with gold standard outcomes for over 40 years, as I said. And we help people lose 10 pounds. I've helped people lose over 400 pounds. So we really work to help people lose weight, improve their health and quality of life.
Great. Yeah. So it's not just the weight, it's health and quality of life. And it's not just a certain weight you have to be in order to qualify for it.
Exactly.
Great. And do you know how long the Lift has been doing it? And
I want to say it's been 8 years. Yes. So yes, as part of my journey, I actually worked directly with the Lift and trained their staff and helped them implement the program, as a matter of fact. And so when I was asked to come back in and work with the program as their administrator, I was thrilled to do so because I knew Mickey and the team, and it's an honor to be able to work with them and help the people in the community lose weight.
Great. Yeah. And I know over there at the Lift in downtown Jackson, it's the wellness center where, you can become a member. However, I know you do not have to be a member to participate in the HMR program. And they've also got exercise as medicine. They've got physical therapy in that area too. So if anybody's struggling with anything, the Lift has all kind of resources to help get you back on the right track.
Exactly. And one of the nice benefits of starting with the program is we've moved it to a virtual format.
Yes.
And we wanted to make it much more convenient for people who live outside of the area. So you can work with our program virtually, and it's very convenient. You can do it from your home. I've had people call in from the beach. So it makes it very easy.
Yeah, it's not putting a restraint on your life, I guess, having to come pick up things. Do people still pick up at the Lift, or is it all delivered?
We do everything virtually. We found it to be very simple and easy and convenient, which makes it much easier to do. So yes, we try and streamline it to make it like that for our clients.
Yeah. So with the Lift, this is all kind of just introductory information about how it works here in West Tennessee. So I guess anyone in the West Tennessee area, no matter how far away you are from the Lift, is eligible to participate in this.
Absolutely. Yes. You don't have to be a member, as you said. And one of the benefits of it being virtual is that you can do it no matter where you live. I have a lot of clients who travel, as a matter of fact, to Nashville and back and forth for their work, and they're able to do that as well. So that is a benefit for sure.
Great. And I wanted to up top kind of say, when I was doing my research on HMR, there are some questions on Google, people are wondering if they were wondering if it was going out of business. I know there was maybe some changes happening, and that's what kind of threw people off. If you want to talk up to me about that, because I know they're not closing down.
Absolutely. Yes. So glad you asked, because again, this is a program that has been around for a very long time, and we've helped almost 1 million people actually lose weight over the 40 years that HMR has been in operation. So recently, the program has been streamlined and operationally put in a position to be a little bit more agile in terms of offering things virtually and trying to stay current with what people need. We're all very busy. We have busy lifestyles, lots of vying priorities for our time. And so being able to do a program like this virtually rather than going in to a clinic and having to drive and taking, time away from other things, having to go and pick up product or, having it sent directly to your home. Some of those changes have just made the program positioned to be able to stay around and help people continue to get the great results that they've had. So yeah, they're really in a really good position to move forward and continue to help people.
Right. I know it's like a culture that kind of happens. People kind of move away from the in-store, in-shop things. And HMR is like, hey, we understand this. We know what's going on. And we're with you. We're coming along for the ride.
Trying to meet people where they're at and be very agile. Yeah, exactly.
Great. So this is the holiday season. We're right here at the beginning of November. And I know that's a big deal for a lot of people. They're anticipating all the great food they're going to get to eat. They're anticipating visiting family members' homes, people who really like to see you eat, try to give you a lot of leftovers. So this episode, this is going to be the first in a series of 3. So we'll do for Thanksgiving. We're going to be doing one for Christmas, and then we're also going to be doing a big one that'll be great for New Year's and resolutions and things like that. So I want to start off by saying, as a coach, kind of tell me what that's like in terms of when someone says, hey, I want to get involved with this program, what are the steps to take?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you asked. So this is a very challenging time of year, as you mentioned, because I like to say that Halloween is the kickoff of National Overeating Season.
Yeah, and all that candy. I didn't even mention Halloween with the candy.
Exactly. I have a great graphic, actually. If you don't mind, I'll share it.
Absolutely.
So you think about this time of year and how the average person this time of year really can struggle with their weight. So you think about Halloween, you've got August, the candy's coming out. We buy what we want to eat, and then it's gone in 2 weeks, and then we have to go back and get more.
Right.
So it's the build up to Halloween, and then of course it's half price after Halloween, and so we don't tend to think about that it's not.
You can't pass up those deals.
I know. Exactly. So we've got, Halloween where it could be a 2-3 pound gain. And then, as you said, we're here already in November. Hard to believe that Thanksgiving is a short time away. It's a very, very challenging time of year. And then right behind that, we have Christmas, along with parties, work parties, social events, very, very busy time of year. And then we wrap that up with New Year's, where this is a time where people sort of are celebrating at this point. Well, what the heck? I'm already up, 7, 8, 9 pounds. I might as well just enjoy myself, and then I'll get right back on track come New Year's. So a big part of what I do in the program and supporting our clients is maintaining perspective around how these pounds can add up, and really having some awareness of where the calories come from. There's more ways that you can manage your weight and health through this challenging time of year, which we can talk about today. And then really supporting people with coming up with a plan, because it is very possible to create healthy holiday traditions and get a jump on the New Year's and not have to make those New Year's resolutions when that time comes.
Right. I know planning is a big thing, because it's like, if you fail to plan to fail.
You plan to fail. Exactly.
Because if you're not paying attention, and then it just sneaks up on you. So yeah, planning ahead is definitely probably one of, or the first step.
Yes, exactly. I always ask my clients, is that a promise or a plan?
Right.
So let's turn that into a specific plan.
Great. So in terms of Thanksgiving, so this will be kind of the first big meal situation that people are running into. I guess we can talk about what is a typical person's food intake during this time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, Thanksgiving, Halloween's behind us, big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
But as we come into Thanksgiving, again, I like to call it National Overeating Day. Mm-hmm. So this is National Overeating season, but if you think about Thanksgiving Day, it's all about food, right? From the second you get up, you have your Thanksgiving, then you have your second meal, your third meal, all the leftovers. So part of what you have to think about is, again, how do you plan and prepare for this holiday? And we know that women burn approximately 10 calories per pound per day, and men burn approximately 11 calories per pound per day. So that's an average. Sometimes people burn more, some less, but on average, you can think about, so if I want to weigh a female 150 pounds, I need about 1,500 calories a day to maintain that body weight.
Okay.
If I have more, I'm going to gain. If I have less, I'm going to lose, right? So if I just put on my blinders and eat a typical Thanksgiving feast, it could potentially look like this. So again, maybe for breakfast, a couple pieces of toast with butter, a boiled egg, and some coffee with cream and sugar. Pretty conservative breakfast, if I'm being honest. But then, the holiday hits, and you've got a couple mixed drinks, 500 calories. That would be a
Right.
third of my calories for the day if I'm a 150-pound female. A couple handfuls of nuts, 800
It is
calories.
insane how many calories are in like almonds and things. I'm like, this is so small.
Exactly. It's a very high
Yeah, I
calorie,
think maybe
calorie
people
dense
don't know
food.
how many calories are in like just like mixed nuts, trail mix, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. There are some healthy fats in there. And so we can sort of
Yeah.
deceive ourselves a little bit
Yeah.
to think like maybe it's maybe a healthy food, but it's
It's a
not
whole
necessarily
food,
what you
yeah.
use as food. Yeah, exactly.
But eat it sparingly.
Yeah. And then you get into the meal and you can think about maybe some white and dark turkey, a cup of mashed potatoes with butter, some stuffing, the gravy, 3 to 4 ladles poured over your meal,
Ugh.
800 calories. That's more than half of the calories for the day for a woman who wants to weigh 150 pounds. The list just goes on and on. Pumpkin pie with whipped cream, 540, couple of maybe a glass of wine or cider. And then, the meal's done and we're watching football or whatever the case may be. And then you've got, the turkey sandwich, piece of pecan pie, 700 calories, and then maybe some cookies that are laying around that you eat. By the end of the day, without really eating all that much food, you're at potentially 7,625 calories.
And I'm so bad at math. How much over that? That's like
That would be about
6,000
6,000 calories,
over.
6,000 calories more than you would need to. So the flip side of that is you could eat nothing for 6 days if you didn't
Yeah.
want to gain weight.
My gosh. So yeah, it all adds up, especially because you're not think a lot of these. I really feel like a lot of these, and I'm guilty. I think that happens to a lot of people. You're like not paying attention. You're talking, you're chatting, you're just eating 3 handfuls of nuts, and all of a sudden there's 800 calories. You weren't even really paying attention. It's kind of like a
Right,
fog eating situation, I think.
right. Yeah, I like to call that zombie eating,
Hmm.
where where you're sort of like, and we'll talk about that as one of the strategies to manage your weight and health, but to be intentional about what you are eating, that you
Right,
mentioned being mindful,
right.
that's such an important strategy because if you don't love nuts, why would you eat 3 handfuls of nuts for 800
Yeah,
calories
just
when,
because they're there. Yeah, just because it's there
exactly,
doesn't mean you have to eat it.
exactly.
So for HMR, like if someone was starting the program like right before Thanksgiving, how would that kind of work for the day of? Like, what would you tell them?
Right. So we have a couple of options, and we can talk a little bit more specifically about how the program is structured if you would like here in a minute. But the biggest thing is that as we mentioned, you need to have a plan. And a big part of what we help our clients do is have as much structure as possible the day up to the event with no decisions. So the fewer decisions you have to make, the
Right.
less you have to think about things, the easier it's always going to be. And so we provide very structured, decision-free plans for people that are simple and easy to follow so that they don't have to really think about it. So they're going into the event with a lot of structure. And then the day of, in part of what we do in the program is really talk about how to create meals that are lower calorie, that you can enjoy and indulge, where you don't have to feel deprived, you don't have to say no, you don't have
Right.
to be at the event and not eat, and making some really strategic decisions about what you will have as
Right.
part of the program.
Because I know a lot of people think, diet equals I can't enjoy the food I'm eating, I can't enjoy the events I'm going to. And I
Right.
mean, that's not the case. And especially, I know, I don't know how it works with HMR, but like self control or like portion control, I know is
Yes.
kind of a big deal.
Such a good point. I think that a big reason why diets don't work for most people is because they are trying to deprive themselves, as you
Deprive.
said.
Hmm.
They're trying to eat less or smaller portions of their favorite foods, and that leaves you feeling hungry.
Yeah.
And we know that when you're hungry, it's number one kiss of death on a diet. So we want
Right.
to have people to have a lot to say yes to, so they're feeling satisfied and not feeling deprived and hungry, and go to the event with and this is a strategy I'll talk about. Don't go to the event hungry, making sure that you have the first plate of food, fruit or vegetables that you bring so that you're in a better position to be making decisions.
Right.
And that's also a really key strategy to help in the event.
So for Thanksgiving, when you talk about portion control, you talk about going into it with a plan. Don't go in hungry. What are some tips that you have for the holiday season for
Yeah.
advice in eating?
You mentioned something that I think is really important. And when most people think of diets, they think of deprivation,
Right.
feeling, having to say
Kind of
no
a
to
negative.
everything.
Yeah.
It's completely negative. Exactly. And so a big part of the reason why our clients are so successful is we focus on what to do, because there's so many things not to do. It can be
Right.
overwhelming and
Don't focus on
discouraging.
those things. Focus on what you
Yeah.
can do.
Exactly. So by focusing on what to do, it puts you in control, gives you much more power and much more of a successful strategy to follow. So
Right.
first and foremost, eating more fruits and vegetables. I mentioned having those before you go, filling up your plate. These are the lowest calorie, most nutrient dense foods on the planet. And you can have a lot of fruits and vegetables and feel very full and satisfied. So a lot of wonderful ways to prepare them, make them festive.
Right.
And alongside that, don't skip meals. So as you go to the event, a lot of people think, well, I'm just not going to eat anything because I'm going to bank my calories. And then you go and you're ravenous. And if it's not nailed down, you're going to eat it, right? So, continuing to eat small, frequent meals, especially eating before you go, can be really helpful. You mentioned practicing mindfulness. I think that's really important. If you're standing around the kitchen where all the food is, you're going to be nibbling, or if you're at where the buffet table is,
without
you're going to
even noticing it. Yeah.
Exactly. So packaging up the food right away, getting leftovers out to everybody, take your chats outside,
Right.
take a walk around the block. Those can be really helpful. Choose healthier options whenever you can. We talked about nuts. Not that they're a bad guy today, but they are higher calorie dense.
Right.
We mentioned the pecan pie, 750 calories. I'm not going to eat pecan pie for 750 calories because it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
There might be other things that we make allowances for, your favorites. So my grandmother's sponge, for example, that's significantly fewer calories, much more enjoyable. So making allowances for your favorites.
Yeah, making a choice, like which one would I rather have? Yeah.
Exactly. Make your calories count. A lot of people will be traveling over the holidays. So I always help people plan bringing snacks, handheld fruits, vegetables, HMR meals, things that are very portable, because you're not going to find these at the airport or at gas stations.
And I know HMR has little snack bars as well, don't they?
Absolutely.
Okay, yes.
All of our product is designed to be very portable and easy to, shelf stable. So that can be a really great strategy. Getting enough sleep is important, because when you're tired, it makes it harder to make healthier food choices, and you sometimes crave things that aren't necessarily they're the higher calorie foods.
Right.
Moving your body. Anytime that you move your body, become physically active, you're burning calories, and it takes you away from some of those challenging environments. So even 10 minutes can make a huge difference.
Right.
Thinking long term, remember that this isn't forever. This is one day, and really, going into it and not making one day turn into 2 days or 3. So really managing your leftovers can be really smart. And then we'll talk about this again, but strategically using meal replacements to save calories can be a really important strategy. One quick example is, here's a coffee cake muffin that somebody might have for breakfast. Seems harmless, right? But muffins are 100 calories an ounce. This is almost a 6-ounce muffin. That's 590 calories. Instead, you could have a shake for 120, or you could have 2 shakes and a multigrain cereal for 480 calories. So even making those strategic decisions can bank calories, so that you can balance off some of those higher calorie eating episodes.
Right. And I mean, I've done that. Like some mornings I'll have, a more nutritious breakfast, and some mornings I'll have toast with cinnamon and brown sugar and butter, which tastes delicious, but I'm hungry like 30 minutes later.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's like it's not filling, and it's more calories. So
exactly, you ate more calories, and
you were less less fulfilled.
Exactly. So I know that, again, the average American gains weight this time of year. We want to give you strategies to support you not being part of that, where you're 10 pounds by the end of the year, looking back, why did I do this? So we want to support people to get a jump on the new year. So we have a $100 special. So if you join in November and don't have to worry about that weight gain this time of year, you get $100 off. And we have a couple ways that you can reach us. You can call us 731-425-6820, or email at hmrliftcenter@wth.org. And we're always available to help in any way we can.
Yes, and I will also be including this in the show notes so people can visit this. And I can also plug the website so they can get more information about the program itself. So this is the end of this episode for November. What we've got coming up, our next episode is going to be for Christmas. So if people are wanting to say, you know what, let me enjoy Thanksgiving, let me squeeze on out to December, we're going to be offering some tips and things about what to do for the Christmas holiday.
Excellent. Thank you so much
for joining us, Natalie. We can't wait to see the next one. Thank you for listening to We Talk Health. This podcast is not intended to replace any medical advice. Nothing said in this podcast is intended to supersede or supplement the direction of your medical caretakers. If you have any questions or would like to request a topic, you can reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com.